Tag is the most global game on Earth. It is played all over the world. It has been played for many thousands of years. And here you have an Indian version of Tag. In this video we're going to go over Tag in different parts of the world, how it kind of connects to a lot of different things. So it'll be an interesting video. This first version of Tag that I'm showing you right here, it's one bacteria chasing another bacteria. So the first ever game probably played by any living thing ever was probably Tag. Now, there's a more modern version of Tag, if you want to think of it as a version of Tag. You have chess, right? So you have pawns and they capture each other. So it's kind of like they're tagging each other, you know, if you want to think of it like that. An even more modern game based off of Tag would be Pac-Man, right? And this is a video game that's based off of Tag. So it's kind of just giving you that sense of Tag being present in modern things, ancient things. Here you have the four ghosts that try to chase you in Pac-Man, so it's kind of based off of Tag. Now let's take a little break from Tag. This is not Tag, this is Gilli Danda. So there's a stick. He's going to hit that stick as far as he can. So the goal is to hit it away from the players on the other team. So this is an example of a very rudimentary bat and ball game. This next bat and ball game, watch what happens. He's going to throw the ball, she hits it, and then the two of them are going to run and switch places. This is basically a street version of cricket. Now cricket is another bat and ball game. It is from Britain, so you see the British Isles in blue, and cricket mostly spread to the Indian Ocean countries on the right side. But you also find it a little bit in Latin America as a street game. So what you just saw was a Brazilian version of street cricket. Here you have baseball 5, not quite baseball, but watch, he's going to hit it, it's caught, he's out. So this is a very simplified version of baseball. They made it as a modern game to try to spread the rules of baseball, the understanding of baseball around the world. So we're going to talk about bat and ball games in this video as well to explain how they connect back to Tag. And baseball comes from the blue area, so America, and it's spread mostly to the Pacific countries, a little bit to places like South Africa and the Indian Ocean, but just giving you that sense of essentially baseball, cricket, these bat and ball sports have spread throughout the world. They have their own history to explore. Now this next footage is about a video game version of Tag where it's like zombies trying to tag you and turn you into a zombie, right? So this is from the game Combat Arms, and I got this footage from a YouTuber named Stiff the Ninja, so credit to him. He made a great video about Tag in video games, so I really enjoyed his content. Go and check that out. But just showing you how Tag appears in video games, right? Now, normally we think of Tag as this kid's game, right? It's not this very serious game. It's just a kid's playground game, right? Well, I would say not at all. I would say not at all. In my view, Tag is a game with tremendous potential to be taken very seriously. It can be very fun, very athletic, very exciting. I'm going to show you some of those things in this video. So here you have dodgeball. And that's kind of like playing tag with a ball, right? A little bit abstract. Here you have World Chase Tag. It's tag but on an obstacle course. So you have the players running around trying to chase each other around. It's like a skirmish. I mean, this is like jungle animals chasing each other or something. It's very intense, very athletic, like life or death kind of emotions involved, and kind of like, you know, watching Spider-Man fling himself around or something. Very athletic stuff, not completely naive or unserious action. So the next clip, this is laser tag. Now, it's not really tag, I understand that, but still, laser tag, you're kind of connecting back to Tag and the idea of some kind of a conflict, right? This is happening in a conflict-based setting. You're kind of pursuing people. You're trying to defend yourself. So just showing how something loosely based off of Tag can appear in this kind of a more serious setup, like laser tag or paintball, different things, right? The next game I want to talk about is Prisoner's Base. It's a game of tag where you have your allies who get captured and you have to go into enemy territory to rescue them. Now this lady in this picture, her name is Sita. The reason I want to bring her up is in India, there's a game called Sita Udhar, which means Sita is over there. It's the same game as Prisoner's Base in the West. And the reason they call it Sita Udhar is because there's an ancient Hindu tradition that Sita, this lady, she gets kidnapped by this 10-headed villain, and the hero of the story has to go and rescue her, and there's a big war and everything. So thousands of years old tradition relating to war connecting to a game of tag. And here's another game. This is rugby. It's not tag, but you can see it's, a lot of tackling, a lot of serious action. It's a very intense game, right? Now rugby also connects to tag. I'm going to show you in this next clip that's coming up. This is not rugby, this is touch rugby. So what's going to happen here is instead of tackling people, in this game they actually just tag people. So here he gets tagged, he has to drop the ball, right? And then this next guy, he's going to get tagged. He gets tagged, he has to drop the ball. So that's the rule. Once you get tagged, you can no longer advance down the field. You got to let go of the ball and let your teammate have it. So obviously it's not as serious as regular rugby, but just giving you a sense of how some kind of game based off of tag can exist even in rugby, even in serious. Now here you have baseball. So the runner gets tagged by the guy holding the ball. And so in baseball, this is a bat and ball game. I said we would talk about how bat and ball games connect back to tag. So we're going to have the same situation again. The runner comes to second base. The fielder has the ball in the glove. So the fielder comes with the ball in the glove, and he's going to make the tag. The runner's going to try to avoid the tag, but he fails. In cricket, the similar situation would be if you throw the ball at these 3 blue sticks before the batter or runner can cross that white line with his bat. And so baseball and cricket, they're the 2 main bat and ball sports. So I want to show you how their mechanics work a little bit. On the left side, you have the cricket field. You have the 2 green areas. Those are the areas where the runners are safe. And on the right side, you have the baseball field. The 4 green areas, those are the 4 bases of the baseball field. So if you're not on one of those 4 bases in baseball, they can tag you and get you out. So I'm going to show you first the cricket field to help you understand how those green areas look like in practice. So here you have the 2 red shirt guys, the 2 batters, or if you want to think of them as runners. They're standing next to these white lines. So if they're between the white lines, that's the red area. That's the area where they're not safe and they can get out. So each of them wants to stay behind their white line. And so since both baseball and cricket have this concept of runners, I want to talk about how the runners work together in these games. So first we're going to talk about baseball. So we see there's 2 runners, the guy going to second base and the batter running to first base. And so the question becomes, why are they both running to the next base, and what's going on here? So this runner, so you see the runner coming from first base to second base right here. Why was he coming to second base, right? Because I said earlier there's 4 bases. If you're on a base, you're safe. So why even run from base to base if they can potentially get you out? And it comes back to this. You can see here on the right side there's the yellow diamond. That's first base. So before this play started, you had a runner who was on first base. He was safe at first base. But then the batter hit the ball, put it into play, and so now the runner at first base was no longer safe at first. So you see the batter coming to first base, and the runner could no longer stay at first base. He had to move to second base to try to be safe. And he failed to get there in time, so he got out, and then the batter failed to get to first base in time. The batter got out. So both the runners' fates were linked together. So because the batter entered the base paths and started running, that forced the runner who was already there to move up to the next base. So in baseball, the runners' fates are linked together. They have to kind of think about each other. Now in cricket, you have the safe areas are called grounds or creases, and these are the relevant rules. So in cricket, as long as a runner is selfish, they can guarantee their own safety. So here we have the 2 runners, the red pants guy on the left, red pants guy on the right. Now ignore this the guy on the right is going to fall over, ignore that. But watch the guy on the left, right? He steps behind it, he's behind his white line, so he's in his safe area. He is 100% safe, regardless of what this runner on the right is doing. So watch the runner on the left, he steps back, he steps behind his white line, so he has now guaranteed his own safety. So the guy on the right, he is not safe. Even though he's reached the safe area, but he's not safe. He has to go to the other area in order to try to be safe. So in cricket, as long as you're selfish, and that's not always good for your team, of course, but as long as the runner is selfish, they can guarantee their own safety. It's a complete opposite of baseball in that particular sense. Alright. So the next clip, so this is what's going on here. This game, well, I'm going to show you an image to try to explain this. So here you have, there's a green area and there's a red area. So this is the perspective of the tagger in this particular game. So you can see the tagger, in this particular case, he's moving towards the right side. And so he can tag anybody as long as he keeps moving rightward into this green area. Now watch what happens if he goes leftward. So here you have, he was going rightward and then now he goes leftward. This now turns the entire field around him red. So this is just to help you visualize that if you as a tagger in this game, you move right and then left, if you go one direction and then switch direction, you can no longer tag anybody. So in this game, you have to commit to going in only one direction. So here we're going to see you have the evader on the right side. So he is going to try to escape the tagger. So you have the tagger coming in from the left. He's going to come in now. So the tagger decides to go leftward. The evader is moving to the tagger's left. Tagger goes to his left. The evader now goes to the tagger's right side because he's trying to go in the opposite direction. He wants to escape the tagger, go into the tagger's red area where the tagger can no longer tag him. But in this case, the tagger was quick enough to tag the evader before the evader could actually pull that ploy off. But that's the idea in this game. It's called Kho-kho. So taggers have to choose only one direction to travel in when they want to try to tag people. It's one of the really difficult things about this game. The next game I'm going to show you is Atya-patya. So in this game, you have, we're going to focus on this blue shirt guy on the left. So the guy in the front, he's going to step towards the left right here. Okay, so you have this blue shirt guy. He's trying to prevent the green shirt guy from getting past him. So the way to do that is to tag the green shirt guy to get him out. Now watch right here. The blue shirt guy has both his feet on the ground. So that means as long as you have both your feet on the ground in this game, you can make tags on the other team and get them out. Now watch right here. Here, he has both his feet in the air. He can no longer tag the green shirt guy at all. So in this game, the evaders, they can use this to their advantage. They can trick the taggers into moving, and then while the tagger's feet are in the air, even if one foot is in the air, you can use that to get past the tagger to protect yourself. So in this game, the safety of the evader is actually dependent on the actions of the tagger, the status of the tagger. So it's kind of very unique, I think, as a mechanic in a tagging-based game. Now the next game is very simple. This is Langdi, or you can just think of it as hopping tag. So the tagger has to hop around in this game to be eligible to tag people. Now if the tagger fails to hop, so here you're going to see she falls over, now she can no longer tag anybody. She has to leave the field, and her teammate can come in. So the next tagger on the team comes in to the field, and then they're hopping. So it's a team-based game. Very simple, but kind of an interesting mechanic. Now what's going to happen here is you're going to see this guy, he's going to get thrown out of the field. And this kind of raises the question, well, if he's the tagger, why is he getting thrown out of the field? What's going on? What's happening? So he is the tagger. He comes into the opposition half of the field. His goal is to tag people on the other team. So the 7 blue shirt guys are all evading. But the tagger himself is also in some sense an evader, because he can be thrown out of the field by his opponents, and then that gives them a point. If they tackle him to the ground or they throw him down, throw him out of the field, then they get a point. So in this game, the tagger has to be agile enough to make a tag without himself getting taken down by the other team. So it's like the tagger is also kind of an evader. That's a very unique thing in that game. This next game, this is Gollachut. So the basic idea, you just saw it right there. These kids are running around the leader in the center, They kind of run, and then they try to leave the line that they've built up. They run, round, round. Then they try to escape the entire field. The opposition players try to tag you. Now, there's a scientific paper suggesting this game may actually be based off of South Asian slavery from thousands of years ago. So it might be like slaves trying to escape agricultural labor in ancient times. It's a simulation of that. And the same way that these guys are trying to simulate escaping slavery, in baseball, you have the runner trying to come home. The runner's trying to reach this final point of safety, at which point nobody can tag him to get him out. And talking about final point of safety, in this game, Kabaddi, the tagger is trying to get over this line, right? So this midline of the field, the tagger gets over that. That is safety for the tagger. Similarly, again, same situation. The tagger just tries to get over the line, and then he's safe. He's 100% safe. In cricket, you also are trying to get over a line, right? The batter is trying to get over that line before the ball can hit those blue sticks. So kind of similar looking things. Now I want to close this video off talking about this game. You see the taggers can switch with each other. I kind of am reminded of, in Hinduism, you have this idea of the soul going from one body to the next, one lifetime to the next, pursuing enlightenment. This game kind of just reminds me a little bit of that. The taggers switching with each other, trying to make tags on the evaders. It kind of reminds me of that. And so this is just some bonus footage of the flexibility that you find in tag. Tag encourages a tremendous amount of flexibility, kind of like yoga, which is another common Indian thing. So maybe just some food for thought that this game encourages a lot of things that are similar to other Indian or global things. So thanks for watching. That's all.